Hello again, welcome back to the channel. I'm about to head out. I am going to meet a few members of my team here in Brown County, Indiana. We are going to go take a look at a few properties together. We don't have any clients with us, so we can take our time. I thought this would be a good opportunity to take you along and one, show you some cool houses down here, and two, just kind of walk you through my thought process when I am showing a property to a buyer. Now, I'm not an inspector, so don't expect in this video to see nitpicky like structural things or mechanical things. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jade Stevenson. I'm a realtor here in Indy. I just got married and I'm actually sitting outside my own fixer-upper home that I bought with my husband, so we are working on that. I post about my life and about real estate, so if that interests you, you should definitely subscribe. Let's go, because I'm running late. Really fast, I'm just going to start with the information that I like to look up before even entering the house. Whether you are an agent, you can look this up yourself. If you are a buyer and you have an agent, you can ask your agent to do this for you. Some of this info is a bit overboard, so a lot of times I will go show the house, see if they even like it initially. If they like it enough to possibly write an offer, then I will do a lot of this research after looking at the house. The very first thing that a realtor will do when they look up a house is find it on the MLS. I printed it out here. A lot of times this is the sheet that your realtor will give you once you come to a showing. So I'm going to kind of go through the main things I look at on here. Obviously the bedroom and bathroom count, that's very important to buyers usually. The square footage. I look at the year built. The year built can indicate possible mold issues, lead-based paint, possible plumbing issues. A lot of times older houses will have more issues than newer houses. That's not always the case though. I also look at original list price versus current list price. I look at how long it's been sitting on the market. Then I look at the public remarks. A lot of times this will have information like this one says new HVAC system and heat pump. There's also this section called private remarks or agent to agent remarks. This is usually packed with good info that is not available to the public. Like for instance, this one says, this home does not meet the distance requirements for short-term rental. So if you had an investor, you wouldn't even want to show them this property. Then I look at school district, depending on if that's important to my buyer. I also look at the number of acres. I double check to see if there's a garage, how many garage spaces there are, and if there is a basement. I look at what kind of heating and cooling it has and if the home requires fuel. I look at the primary water source and the sewage. A lot of times they are both on city, but you do see septic and well out in the country. I also look at the semi-tax. This can be pretty important. I make sure to find out if the home is in an association and how much that costs and how often and what kind of benefits they might get from being in an association. I look at possession time. Most often, the buyer can possess the home at closing, but occasionally this will say something different. And then of course, I look at the agent commission because usually it's 3, but occasionally it's something else. So that's the MLS sheet. On top of that, there are a few other things I like to do. Now on the MLS, there are other documents that some agents will upload. This can either be a utility sheet that goes through the price per month that the sellers are paying for utilities. That is a very helpful thing to print out for a buyer. Also, there should be a seller's disclosure. That will tell you usually how old the roof is. I also like to call the agent and ask them a few questions. I like to ask, why are the sellers selling? Do they have any offers or action on it currently? Why do they think it's been sitting? If it has been sitting, are the sellers looking for anything special in an offer? If I need to, I'll also do some comps to see what other homes that are similar have sold for in the area. This will help me know if the home is overpriced, underpriced. Comps also help me tell the buyers what a good offer price might be. Going the extra mile could be calling the health department and seeing if they have any records for the septic. You can also call the zoning and planning department and see if the home qualifies to be a rental. I live in a very small town, so that can be a big issue. Is the home in a flood zone? Does it require flood insurance every month? Finally, we are at the house. Let's talk about the outside and kind of my thought process there. Is the area what the customer wants? Is it a neighborhood with kids? Is it more spacious and private? What is the vibe of the neighbors? Do they have weird signs outside? Have they taken care of their lawn? Are there any barking dogs? A huge tip, if you run into a neighbor while you're showing the house, I highly encourage you to talk to them, see if they like living there, if they feel like it's a safe neighborhood, if they're aware of any developmental projects coming up. You can also look that up online. You could have a beautiful view of a field, and then the next year it could be a mall. Make sure to do your research. Also look up, is there high-speed internet available? Something that is also great to look at is resellability. Does the home look like the most or least expensive in the neighborhood? Typically you don't want that. You want to be somewhere in the middle. Is it an open concept? Is it outdated? What are the possibilities with rearranging the layout, tearing down a couple walls? Another thing that's extremely important or can be important is how accessible is it? Does it have a good road? Is it on a dirt road? How close is it to town? Are you close to the airport or the grocery store or a gas station? Is the home taken care of visually? Is there chipping paint? That can often be a red flag to lenders depending on what kind of loan your buyer has. How does landscaping look? If the seller has taken good care of their landscaping, a lot of times this will indicate how they've taken care of their home. How does the roof look? Are there any huge trees or hanging branches nearby? Again, make sure you look at the age of the roof on the seller's disclosure. Is there a pool that will need serviced? Let's move on to the inside. As soon as you walk in, you're going to notice some kind of smell, whether it's good or bad. Does it smell like must, urine, mold, smoke? These things can be really good indicators, or also they can be something that's really hard to remove. How does the floor feel? Does it feel like the house is slanted? Are there any wonky floors or like uneven walls or cracks? Do the doors close properly? Those can all have something to do with the foundation. Is there any standing water anywhere, especially in the basement? Are there any water spots on the ceiling? How is the layout? Is there a bedroom on the main floor? Is the laundry in the basement? If you have older clients, this can be a really important question. Or if you're selling to a multi-generational family, a lot of times they're going to want more space, like a ranch versus a multi-story level house. Is there a garage? Does the garage work? Are there appliances included with the sale? If so, how do they look? Open them up. Test them out. How old is the water heater and HVAC? Where is the breaker panel and how old is it? Where is the attic and how is the storage/closet space? How old are the windows? Are there any gaps? Is there any dampness coming through or humidity? Windows can definitely affect your utility bills. How is the water pressure? Are there mice droppings or bugs lying on the perimeter? Are there any shelves or pieces of furniture or things that are not attached to the home that the buyer would want to include in an offer? Okay, that's pretty much everything I could think of. I'm sure I'm going to think of more after I edit this video, but if you guys would like a downloadable print for this, let me know. I'd be happy to make one. If you're an agent, you can print it off and practice looking for these things when showing clients. If you're a client, you can print it off and make sure you ask these things to your agent. These are things that the average consumer probably would not think about. Brisket's done with this. So if you have any thoughts or other things that you like to look for, please comment down below and let me know what I missed. Also, please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get notified when I make more videos. Please follow me on Instagram. I post home tours over there at itsjadesteph, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching.